You're listening to the Walt's World Podcast, brought to you by the Lost Bros Trading Co. Join your hosts, John and Kaley, as they banter about all things Disney, including Disney parks, resorts, dining, fashion, and movies. They'll keep you up to date with the latest Disney news and rumors, and they'll share their best tips and insight to make sure you have the best Disney vacation possible. So to all who tune into this happy place, welcome. It's the Walt's World Podcast.
What's going on, friends? It's Monday, July the 2nd, 2018, and this is the Sometimes podcast episode, the Walt's World Podcast. I'm your host, John, and with me, as she is every week, even on Mondays, is my awesome co-host, my friend Kaley.
Hi, everyone. It is a sometimes, but this is a very special sometimes because we are talking Toy Story Land.
Yay, Toy Story Land. Whoop, 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 whoop. I didn't get to go to Toy Story Land opening like I was supposed to because Kristen and I decided to be adults and we bought a house. So we thought, hey, we bought a house on Monday. It's probably not the best idea to turn around on Friday and go to Disney World.
Lame.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, gosh, why not just leave all the moving to our family and friends to do for us while we're at Disney? That would have been so much smarter, actually, now that I think about it. Man, next time. But Kaley and Cheddar Biscuits went and soaked it up to the max. And so that's what we're talking about today. Is Kaley and Cheddar Biscuits' recent trip to Disney World and Toy Story Land.
Yay! Ugh, definitely not skippable. Like, this... if you were watching the Insta stories, which if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming that you are following us on Instagram at Walt's World Podcast, because I was on there and the emotions were so raw. So we got in Friday night. They did a little soft opening, so we went there after we had dinner, and it was just so like breathtaking. I was so excited to be there. The lights are amazing.
Okay. Hold on. Let's not go cannonballing into this. Let's work.
I just want to talk about it the whole time. I just want to say everything.
Let's just put the big toe in the water first and test it out, see if it's too hot. So, first off, I want to know where did you and Cheddar Biscuits stay on this trip? Did you stay on property?
Yeah, we stayed at All Star Movies, and I will never stay there again.
Oh. We've talked about this, but what happened? All-Star Movies, which you guys did not get one of the new renovated rooms, right?
Right. So what had happened was when we booked the room, all they had was standard rooms left, and we didn't know at this time that only the preferred rooms were renovated. But the thing that just really made me upset was I called a couple weeks ago and put in a request for one of the renovated rooms. So I felt like the cast member kind of failed me there by saying, like, by putting it in my notes, but not telling me that only preferred rooms are renovated.
Yeah, that's shady.
So that was kind of disappointing when we went to check in, because I was like, hey, I requested a renovated room, like, you know, do we have a renovated room? She was like, well, that's only for the preferred room. So it's like, okay, that's fair. I didn't pay for a preferred room, so I get it. But I wish I would have known.
Yeah.
When I called and requested it.
Like, whenever Krista and I stayed at Pop when they were renovating their rooms, we just asked for a renovated room. We'd only paid for standard, but we asked for renovated before we got there a couple times and when we got there. And they never mentioned about preferred, standard, or anything like that to us. And they didn't charge us differently. I know that certain rooms closer to the building, closer to the main building, or certain themed sections are going to be more preferred. But, I mean, I can't believe they couldn't accommodate y'all, especially since you had already called in and everything. That blows me away.
And so we were in the Mighty Ducks area, which is fine. Ugh. Like, I didn't really want to be there, but, I mean, it was what it was.
I love those movies, but...
Ugh, yeah, I know. It was what it was. It was raining when we got there, so at this point we kind of just wanted to, like, get in the room and, like, get inside for a little bit. So we took the Mighty Ducks room because we were assuming that that was basically all that was going to be available for us to begin with. So we got the Mighty Ducks room. There was like multiple things broken in our room, like the doorstop. Like there was a huge hole in the floor where the doorstop was like not in place. The cap on the iron that keeps the water in was not there. So that was a little frustrating when you're trying to like iron your clothes at 4 o'clock in the morning before going to Toy Story Land and like water's getting everywhere.
Hashtag first world problems.
Right.
But still annoying.
Right. And it was just not a nice room. And we like for staying on Disney property, like we still spent like $158 per night, and it was just not worth it at all. It was not nice. I mean, it was fine. We had a place to stay for the 2 nights we were there, but like I definitely learned my lesson, and I will not like go the cheap way out again when staying on property.
That just blows me away. Like I'm not surprised by the All-Star resorts being like kind of not as nice. I know like the new renovated rooms are super nice because they're like the new pop rooms, which are awesome and incredible. But you know that those all-star resorts are just going to get just destroyed even more, like by all these huge groups of kids that come in there.
Yeah, we saw like a huge tour of kids there. And I think even though they are renovating it, it's still going to stay at like the cheapest rates that Disney has to offer.
That's good.
So like, yeah, you can renovate it and make it nice, but people are going to go there and like you said, destroy it because it is cheaper, you know? But I don't know. Like I said, lesson learned. Even if we're staying for like 1 night or 2 nights, I'm not like going to go the cheap way out.
Yeah, that was not a good start to your trip at all. That definitely set the tone.
Yeah, I was pretty upset on Friday, but it was fine.
So resort, not great. So other than like your room, how was the rest of the resort? Was the theming good? All that jazz?
The theming was good. I mean, honestly, we were just so disappointed by like the whole check-in process and all of that we didn't spend too much time going and exploring. Mm-hmm. We stayed in our Mighty Ducks area and we went to, the cafeteria and we had breakfast there one day. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't like anything to write home about, but it was good.
Did you guys do the secret menu?
We didn't do the secret menu because we went for breakfast. So yeah. But like I said, what we had, it was like a Woody and Buzz waffle, bacon, eggs, and sausage. And it was okay, but like I said, nothing to write home about. So I can't really like complain about that because like the lobby and the cafeteria and all that was, fine.
Typical all-star or value resort, I'm sure.
Yep, exactly.
So did you guys do Disney transportation to the parks or to Disney Springs, or you guys do your own car?
We drove the whole time we were there. And also, because I was like looking over the receipt today because we got home today. They didn't charge me for parking.
Oh.
I don't know how they would have even known that my car was parked because they didn't give us a parking pass. They didn't ask us at check-in if we were parking on property. Mm-hmm. So I don't really understand why they like made a whole big thing about charging for parking.
Yeah.
Because nobody even asked us if our car was parked there. And every time we came back in, we just scanned our Magic Band and went through. So I'm not complaining about it. Obviously, I'm glad I wasn't charged. But I just think it's odd. Like, I don't know at the other resorts how they're like implementing that new rule.
Yeah, I've not really heard actually from many people that have been charged, to be honest. Like,
the only time that I heard about it is I went to breakfast recently at the Grand Floridian, and they were like, "Oh, you can park here for free for 4 hours, but after that, you're charged."
For 4 hours?
Yeah.
Well, I understand like the monorail loop. I get that because like you're closer to the Magic Kingdom and all that jazz.
Well, that's the thing. That's why they're charging, is because they don't want people to like park there and walk to the parks or whatever, walk to Magic Kingdom.
That makes sense.
So that was the only time that I heard about it, though. But I didn't get charged. So.
Well, good. That was a victory.
I mean, yeah.
That's right.
I think they owed it to me anyway.
That's right. I'll show you not to have a doorstop in my room. What kind of crazy, horrible place are you living at? Come on, that's crazy. No doorstop in the room. How's my door gonna stop? It's not. There's nothing to stop it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
All right, so All-Star movies. What would you give it out of 10? 10 being awesome, 1 being just like you felt unsafe and it was not good for your health to stay there.
I would say a 3.
Oh.
Like it like pretty like grossed me out, and I'm not even like super high maintenance when it comes to like places to stay. Like I've stayed at some like dingy places when traveling like across the country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this was just like, and I think it had to do, like I said, with the disappointing factor. Like if I wasn't so disappointed the moment that I arrived, like maybe a 5, like not, I wouldn't even give it a 5. I would give it a 4. Cause like the shower, just like everything, I just.
Was it dirty? Did it feel dirty, or was it?
It just like felt dirty, and it felt like musty. Also, our AC wasn't really working well, so we were like super uncomfortable in the middle of the night. Like I said, 3 at best, and that's not even me like trying to be high maintenance. I think Cheddar Biscuits would agree if he was here. Like it was just not good at all.
Okay, so there we have it. All-Star Movies, which is it's the best of the All-Stars. So there's just kind of like a good comparison for you people that might be thinking about staying at All-Star soon. Friday night, you guys, you check in. Friday night, what did you guys do? Did you go to Hollywood Studios? What was your next step? What did you guys go do?
So we got ready and we went to dinner at Disney Springs. We went to Enzo's Hideaway.
Oh, but who suggested it to you? Who did it? This guy.
And Krista.
Yes.
It was.
Oh, don't give your reaction yet. Hold on. Talk about the theming of the restaurant and where is it located? It's underneath.
It's underneath the. It just slipped my mind. It's underneath. I literally was about to say Twosome, like at Universal, and that's
Edison.
not what it is.
Edison.
The Edison. It's underneath the Edison, basically, kind of like, I don't know, little like next to it. You go down a set of stairs, and it's underneath. But it is so cool. The theming. And one thing that I noticed about it, I've worked in a lot of restaurants, is from the host stand, you really can't see the dining room, which I thought was unique because usually the host stand is just right there, like out in the open. You see the whole dining room. So I kind of like that there was like a little element of surprise, like when you come around the corner and you see the dining room.
So for those of you that don't know, Enzo's Hideaway it's Enzo from the Maria and Enzo's Italian restaurant that is new there. And so Enzo's Hideaway is kind of like a speakeasy Italian restaurant that's kind of hidden away. So it's not super easy to find, honestly. Like it took us like 10 minutes to find where the entrance was. But it's kind of a speakeasy, so it's supposed to be kind of hidden and secretive, which is
that's exactly
so cool.
what it is.
It's so cool.
It's an Italian speakeasy.
Yeah.
Type setting, and it really like brought you back. All of the graffiti and drawings on the walls. It was just super industrial. I love
kind of feel to it, doesn't it? It kind of has like that. Like if you go to like diners and they have like the booths and they have like the pole that goes beside the booth that you can like hang your coat on or things like that. That's so cool, and it's not a big restaurant.
Yeah, I loved what the cast members were wearing too. The servers were wearing a little bit more casual. They were wearing jeans and like plaid button-down shirts. But they had like bussers or server assistants, I don't know what they call them, wearing white pants and a black and a white striped shirt. So like to me that felt like Italian. That felt like we were literally in Italy in a speakeasy underground. I just loved that. And I said to Cheddar Biscuits when we were there, because we heard a couple times that it was somebody's birthday and they were singing, I was like, wow, they all sound Italian. Like a lot of the cast members that, interacted with us at the table or brought things to us had an accent, which I don't know if they did that on purpose. Like they kind of sought out, cast members that had accents when they were hiring. Our server didn't have an accent, so I don't think that could be it. But like
Spoiler
I said,
alert, they're not Italian.
Yeah. Right. But the server assistants or the bussers, whatever they are called, almost all of them had accents, and a lot of like the hosts that brought us had an accent. I don't know. A lot of people there had accents,
it just
and
made
I thought
it
it was
real.
Right. It made it feel so real, and it like the theming was just amazing. Like probably one of my favorite theme restaurants that I've been in at Walt Disney World so far.
That's so cool. Chris and I ate there in May. and we are obsessed with it. Like, we crave it. We ate there once, and we today crave it. And like, it was so good. The experience was great. The waiter was so knowledgeable about everything, like suggested things, and everything they suggested was like on point.
Same. It was really good.
So what did you guys have?
So it's not cheap, I will say that.
No, it's not.
It's not cheap because, and I'll tell you this, the appetizer that we got was the meat and cheese board that they do. So that is $17 per person.
Holy moly.
So, and it's a minimum of 2. So if it's just you and you want a meat and cheese board to go with your wine, if you're sitting at the bar, like, you can't get it, which I don't know, that kind of stinks. But we really wanted to try it because they have like a meat cooler that you can see in the dining room.
Yeah.
All of the meats are from Italy, I believe our server told us, and cheeses. So we got that, and it was amazing. Like, probably one of the best like prosciuttos I've ever had. Wow. It was so good. The cheddar cheese just like melted in your mouth. The other cheeses I wasn't too crazy about because I love like cow milk cheese, but they were still good.
Don't eat at Akershus in Norway Pavilion then, because they have like a caramelized goat cheese that is deceptive.
Oh, I love goat cheese.
Oh, but it's like caramelized, so you think like it's like a brownish color. It was the weirdest.
It was like a sheep's cheese, and
it's weird.
I really don't remember what the other one was.
That's cool though. Was it worth $17 a person?
Per person, yeah. So it was pretty pricey. And then Cheddar Biscuits had the old fashioned, the modern old fashioned, I think is what it was called. And he really liked that. I just drank water. Hello, I'm 20. Disappointed. Hello. But, well, I'm like telling you all this so I can tell you how much we spent at the end.
Yeah, that's fine. And the entree, what did you guys get for the entrees?
So for the entree, we got the Nona's pasta for 2.
Okay.
And it was...
What is it?
Like... It was penne pasta with a tomato sauce that they described as like a bechamel, and then it had meatballs, Italian sausage, and brisket in it, like chunks. The meatballs were seriously like melt in your mouth. Like, I will crave those. Next time I go back, I think I'm just gonna get like pasta and meatballs because it was like my favorite meat in the pasta.
Yeah, when we went, I got the same thing, but I got it for one person, and like, it came out and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. That's a lot of meat, and that's like 3, like, sausage and meatballs like I get, but like the brisket I was worried about with like Italian kind of flavorings and stuff. But man, it was so good. It was so filling. So like, it's definitely a dinner thing, and like, don't plan on going to the parks after. But it was so good. The pasta was al dente, so it was had just a little bit of snap to it. It wasn't overdone or not done enough. It was just perfect. And Krista had gotten a salad as an appetizer, and it was good too. It was like a spring mix kind of salad with like an Italian vinaigrette on it. It was fantastic. We told our friends about it. If you follow on Instagram, Popcorn UK, we told them about it, and they went last month and fell in love with it as well. This is a hidden gem at Disney Springs. I don't know why it doesn't get more pub than it does and more love than it does, because it is unbelievably good. So good, guys. Another cool fact about it, aside from the food, is that it's underneath the Edison, so you can actually walk through the restaurant and go a back way up some stairs into the Edison, which is cool.
That is really cool. And the pasta that we had was $22, in case anybody was wondering, which we thought was like a pretty fair price for like huge pasta that fed the 2 of us, and we still had leftovers after. Yeah, okay, because our food altogether was $92, and then with John's drink, so we spent like over $120.
So 120. Let's say $120 is what you spent. Was it worth $120? The meal as a whole and the experience?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I didn't even get into the dessert yet.
Oh, you guys got dessert too. Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. So we got the gelati, the sundae, and it was the amarena sundae. So it had vanilla, chocolate, pistachio cherries, and whipped cream. So it was basically like a cherry flavored sundae with gelati. And I don't think ours had pistachio on it. I remember almonds. I really don't think there was pistachio on it, but it could have been pistachio and almonds. But there was definitely on the menu. Sometimes the menu on the app isn't as accurate with like the featured desserts. But I remember almonds.
That's awesome.
The cherries were so like fresh, like they were just picked from somewhere in Italy. I don't know. It was amazing. Like from the appetizer all the way down to the dessert. We would hands down go again. The appetizer was great, but we already talked about how next time we would love to try something else because they did have a lot of good choices as far as that. But I definitely know that next time I'm getting the spaghetti meatballs because those meatballs are like hands down the best I've had at any restaurant in a really long time.
There you have it, people. There you have it, people. Go to Enzo's Hideaway. It's literally the best Italian food. Like, yeah, even though it's not like a little mom and pop Italian place, it kind of felt like it and tasted like it. It didn't feel like it was a mass produced, like an Olive Garden. I love Olive Garden, but it's not, Olive Garden kind of doesn't have the same.
It doesn't have the same
flavor profile as like a little mom and pop little Italian place in the middle of nowhere in a hole in the wall or something like that. But this place totally had that taste.
I agree.
And flavors to it.
I agree. It's definitely worth the money. It is a little pricey, but it's definitely worth it.
So that's one of those, if you're on the Disney dining plan, that would be a great option for you and your family if you're into Italian food to really make use of your dining plan.
Then we heard about the soft opening at Hollywood Studios. So we dashed.
See what you did there.
We dashed on over to Hollywood Studios and went into Toy Story Land. Of course, the waits for Slinky Dog Dash and the swirling saucers were super long, but just to be able to go in for that first time at night and see all the lights and see everything come together was truly spectacular. Like, I think I remember that moment for forever.
So you get there, you walk in. What was the first thoughts when you walked in and you saw the lights? Because you went at night, so it was nighttime, which is,
right,
from the pictures I've seen, looks so incredible.
That's the one thing that I did regret a little bit about this trip was how much I had already seen of the land on Instagram and social media before going, because I felt a little like I already knew what I was going to see.
Gotcha.
So that kind of took away the element of surprise, but however, like, the pictures do not do it justice at all. Seeing it in person was not like seeing it on somebody's Instagram. So the first thing that you see is the big Woody that is standing next to the Toy Story Land sign. And he is so cute, and he talks. He makes like the cutest little jokes. Like, he made a joke about Mr. Potato Head. He's like, why does everybody laugh at Mr. Potato Head's jokes and not mine? Because he like said something silly. I don't really remember.
By the way, Mr. Potato Head, we watched all three of the movies the other day, back to back to back. Mr. Potato Head is like always out to get Woody. You know, like, he's mad. He thinks that he tried to kill Buzz in the first one when Woody like throws him off of the truck. Or the race car. He thinks he threw RC off the truck. The last one, he's mad because Woody was quote unquote chosen to go to college with him, and he keeps calling him college boy and gets mad at him. I'm like, dude, what's his deal with Woody? Like, why is he so mad at Woody?
He's probably just jealous.
Probably. Potatoes usually are jealous.
Right.
Anyways.
So you keep walking in, and then we saw Jesse and Rex kind of in on the top of the Slinky Dog roller coaster, and then you see the brand new entrance to Toy Story Mania, which is so amazing. It felt like almost like a foreign concept of Toy Story Land as far as like Disney Sea.
So a better version. Not Disney
like
World worthy.
Right, like a better version, and maybe not like really Disney Sea, but you know, like overseas, how they have Toy Story, and it's all like
everything's better overseas. It seems like at Disney.
Right, everything is just so much more like prominent and there, and this like new Toy Story Mania sign is like, hey, I'm here. And I loved it. So that was really cool. And then you just keep walking and there's all these, you know, hanging lights over. You see the little toys. Like literally everything in the land is made out of like some sort of toy, some sort of wrapper from a snack, popsicle stick. It's all made out of toys. You have Andy's footprints on the floor, on the ground. That night, like I said, we weren't in there for very long. We just went around, took some pictures because we wanted to go back and go to bed because we had an early morning on Saturday. But for being what it was that night and being able to get a little sneak preview was so amazing.
Did you feel like it was immersive enough? Like when you're in Pandora, you feel like you're literally on Pandora. You're surrounded by it. It's towering over you. Did you feel like you literally were shrunk down to the size of a toy and you were in Andy's backyard?
Yeah, I felt almost more immersed in Toy Story Land than I do in Pandora.
Wow.
Like, Pandora is awesome, but there's something about, and maybe it's just the nostalgia of Toy Story Land and all the toys. There's just something that feels more like you're actually there. And maybe it's just me, but I definitely think that other people feel that way as well. Like, it just completely, like, just takes you over. Like, your body is just taken over by all the
zombies.
Yeah. No, but yeah, definitely immersed completely head to toe.
What about the size of the land? How big is it? Is it, do you feel like it's big enough? Do you feel like it was a little small and cramped?
I don't think it's huge, but you know, Pandora kind of has like those walkways that are like a little tight, not like super tight, but there's like things on each side.
Right.
I feel like the walkways here were wider, and like I said, it wasn't huge for them saying, you know, how many acres it was. I think 11 acres. It felt like exactly how big that it needed to be. I didn't feel crammed. I mean, there were a lot of people in there, of course, but I didn't feel like overwhelmed. And I think that also has to do with the fact that there's not like a lot of like overhanging or shade type things. If a lot of it was like covered, then I think you would feel more like tight. But I think
I was going to ask you about that. It seems like a lot of the queues and a lot of the stuff is just not covered or outside, which is different for WDW because it rains so often. It's more of a Disneyland thing. Do you think that added or to the whole theming or to the atmosphere of it all, or do you think it's going to be a bigger issue when it rains?
I think, I mean, if it rains and like it's thunderstorming, like no doubt Slinky Dog is going to have to shut down because that's like completely outdoors. So that kind of stinks about that. And as far as the wait, you know, part of it is outside, especially, well, now, if you go now this weekend, you're definitely waiting outside for over half of it. But the rest, I mean, you're under like a cover. You know, it's covered, but it's not enclosed. Like when you go into Toy Story Mania, you're enclosed.
Right.
So, and the same thing with the Alien Swirling Saucers. Like you're under a cover, but the front part of it, and it's the same on both rides, the front part of the queue are both outside, and then you get under a cover. So could I see it causing problems with the rain? Yes, but I definitely see Slinky Dog Dash like closing down due to weather before Alien Swirling Saucers. And definitely both of those before Toy Story Mania, because Toy Story Mania is completely inside.
Do you think that the openness of it, because like at Disneyland, everything's more open. Like the teacups, there's nothing above them because it doesn't rain as much in Anaheim as it does in Florida. Do you think that gives it a different feel than the rest of Disney World?
I think so. I think this whole land I didn't even feel like I was at Hollywood Studios anymore.
Cool.
So, I mean, if that says enough.
So I know a lot of people were really worried about Toy Story Land because I know they had some budget issues, so they had to cut back on the size and they had to cut back one of the rides. Do you feel like it lived up to the hype now that you're you're a day away from being there?
For sure. I mean, they already had Toy Story Mania, but I like how they kind of used that to their advantage. and, added another track, changed the queue on the inside, changed the entrance. So I think definitely with, updating Toy Story Mania and having the Alien Swirling Saucers and Slinky Dog, it definitely lived up to my expectations. Pandora has 2 rides, and that's fine, but that's basically all you can do in there is go see your 2 rides, maybe eat, and then leave. Whereas Toy Story Land, I feel like you can hang out more. There's just a lot more to take in as far as little details and, photo opportunities. It was everything I could have asked for and more. I do wish that there was a gift shop because I'm super upset that they got rid of Sweet Spells, but maybe that'll happen in the future. I don't know.
Let's talk about that store. The store that's there on Sunset Boulevard used to be Sweet Spells, had cookies and candy and stuff like that in it. The whole thing's changed to Toy Story Land, right?
Not the whole thing.
Okay.
The part where Sweet Spells is Toy Story Land, but the other side has other Pixar. So Incredibles, Monsters, Inc., other elements of Pixar. It's very tight. And for it being opening weekend, that store could not handle the crowds. So that kind of
Is that the
worries.
only other than little stands in the middle of Toy Story Land, is that the only gift shop for Toy Story Land?
Yeah, I mean, you could get the shirts and all the other merchandise in the other stores when you first walk in to Hollywood. Okay. So in the pin shop, you could get the pins. In the other apparel stores, you can get the shirts, you can get the pins, you can get it all there as well. I wish there was a shop in the actual land. I think it's a little tedious to kind of have to go and get your souvenir elsewhere, although they do have little stands set up with, the Slinky Dog ears, the Slinky Dog toys, alien ears, little things like that. But I don't recall seeing any apparel out there. Maybe there was, and I just didn't see it. But so they do have 2 little stands that I saw that had some little goodies on it. But I think for the most part, if you're going to get a souvenir, you're going to want to go to the Sweet Spells shop because that's where it's all going to be. So you can kind of make your choice there. Because if you're choosing from the stands, there's definitely a smaller, options. Not as many.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at first I was like, that's kind of weird because usually you get off a ride, you get off in a gift shop. But I guess that would take away from the theming of the land if there was a gift shop off of Slinky Dog or if there was a gift shop off of Alien Swirling Saucers,
Yeah, I can agree with that because you're supposed to be like a toy in Andy's backyard. So if you're getting off the ride into a toy shop, doesn't really make sense. But I think it's just because that's what we're all used to, like you said. So it's kind of funny to not have it. But, maybe they don't have to do it when you're coming off the ride, but at least have, a little store that you can go into.
Right.
Somewhere else.
Cool. So when you were in Toy Story Land, what kind of view did you have of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
Literally, if it was finished, you could see the whole thing. On the Slinky Dog coaster, you could see the whole thing. And on the other side of the wall, because there's still a construction wall where they're doing Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge. Star Wars Land. Galaxy's Edge.
I think everyone's going to call it Star Wars Land. I don't think anyone's going to call it Galaxy's Edge.
Right, but you could see where they already had a Toy Story Land sign set up on the other side of that wall. So when you're kind of moving in to Toy Story Land. But when you're on Slinky Dog, you literally see everything. You saw all of the construction. It's the views from it are amazing. I said in this Instagram stories that I was surprised at how high it was and how fast it went because, like I said, you see everything.
Right. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Slinky Dog. Slinky Dog coaster is a family coaster, right? It's a good all members of the family type coaster. It doesn't go upside down. It's not super intense. It does have one launch, kind of two at the beginning, kind of launches. So overall, though, give me kind of a rundown of the coaster when you're on it.
So I would kind of put this coaster somewhere in between like Big Thunder and Seven Dwarfs, because I really like Seven Dwarfs and the speed of Seven Dwarfs. I really like Big Thunder as well, as we already know. So I would kind of put that somewhere in the middle there. I love the length of this track, just to start off. But so you first like go up a hill, and then you go down, and that puts you down where you could see kind of the queue, because the queue was all the way outside. And so that takes you right down there. You go around, you come to the stop where you do the little launch. So the first part isn't really like an initial launch. It's just kind of the ascend on the hill and then the descend down the hill, like, you know, a typical roller coaster does. And then you stop for that little launch. And it's nothing crazy, not like, you know, Aerosmith where your head's going to like fly back and you're going to be having tears. So you stop and you roll back and you launch, and then you do like, I love, they have like little bunny hills, and it's like 4 in a row that I think are so fun. It's just like little hills.
So would you say is it more intense than Seven Dwarfs?
I would say it's more intense because of the height, because it's pretty high compared to what you would think it would be. And I think I don't know. I think Seven Dwarfs has moments where it goes fast. So I would say maybe the speed is about the same. Maybe a little bit more for Slinky Dog, like a little bit higher speed. But like I said, the track was just the perfect length. Ugh, I can't even talk about it enough.
I get emotional.
The Slinky Dog that you're riding in is just so cute. Like all the details that were put into this, even in the queue, there's so many like game boards around, and like I said, all these different toys. You definitely want to take time to like really just take a look around, like,
which you'll have plenty of time.
Down.
You'll have plenty of time for a while to look around in the queue.
Right. Put the phone down and just soak it all in for a few minutes, because not even a few minutes, you literally need like hours and hours to get every single detail in this place. But right.
So how long would you, what's a realistic length of time that you would wait to ride it? Because like, you know, certain rides I'm going to wait 30 minutes, or I would wait 60 minutes. Like for Flight of Passage, I would wait an hour and 15 minutes to ride that. What's kind of like your, okay, I don't have a fast pass, I'll wait X number of minutes to ride it?
I would wait 2 hours.
Okay.
I would wait 120. And that's pushing it for me. I really don't like waiting because I have the annual pass. I'm not ever going there on a vacation where I have to feel rushed to ride all the rides.
Right.
So I think for me to say that I would wait 120 minutes kind of does say something, because I don't usually wait for anything. But yeah, definitely 120 minutes for Slinky Dog. We went in this morning with the mindset that we would wait 90 minutes. But by the time we got over there, it was already like 180 minutes. And it was just like, it literally went up in like a span of less than 5 minutes of us walking over there. It was crazy. So, I mean, I guess it would just depend on the day and what I'm trying to do.
I did hear that they kind of started doing what they do for Flight of Passage, where they'll overestimate the wait time. I know Flight of Passage does this, where they'll say, oh, it's a 2-hour wait. In reality, it's like 90 minutes. Or
right.
And so I do know that they were saying like 300-minute wait for Slinky Dog. In reality, it was like 200 or something, you know, like that.
Right. When we rode it on Saturday, at the point where we got on, it said 90 minutes, and we definitely did not wait 90 minutes.
That's good.
We were on it by 7 o'clock.
Some vlogs I've seen.
In line.
Some vlogs I've seen where they're talking with the coaster behind them. It seems like it's kind of always going. There's not really a lull.
It is.
So that's good.
It is. There was multiple carts going. And I think because it does go pretty quick, like the track is long, but the speed of the coaster kind of does let it, continually keep going and picking people up. So yeah, I mean, it said that we were going to wait 90, and we definitely did not wait 90. It just kept moving and moving and moving. Like, I can't remember a point where we were standing there for like 5 minutes or longer in one spot. Like, it just kept flowing very nicely. And that was on the very first day. So the cast members did such a good job on that first day. Definitely did better today, though, as far as like today when we went, they had people waiting by where the old Toy Story Mania entrance was in a queue to get in. So they were kind of letting people in little by little, so it didn't get so backed up and crazy. So people did have room to kind of like see everything else, because when there's like a whole line of people, it's kind of hard to see everything as far as like the ride or the roller coaster goes. So, but like I said, the cast members did an amazing job on opening day because it was just flowing so nicely.
Awesome. So cool. Now on to the second ride, Alien Spinning Saucers.
Yes. So we waited like about 45 minutes for it. And I get nauseous on a lot of rides, and I did not get nauseous on this because it wasn't really spinning. And
so it's not a teacup ride. It's a whip ride. It's a whip ride. So basically, it kind of whips you back and forth as the thing is kind of going around in a circle, a figure eight kind of thing. If you've been to Disneyland, it's very much like the Tow Mater ride that kind of whips you around a little bit.
Right.
It's not like
so
crazy.
You start. Right. They have like 3 little tracks almost. So you start on one, and then throughout you're like going on each. So when when Cheddar Biscuits and I first got on it, we thought that we were just going to be in our one little circle the whole time. And we were so surprised that we were actually like moving all around. And there is 2 separate sides, which I thought they were really smart to do. As you know, as far as like teacups, they have that one area. Swirling Saucers has 2 separate areas. So I think they were really smart to do that, because since the little seats hold like maybe 3 people, 2 adults and a kid, you know, it doesn't hold a lot of people. They were definitely smart to kind of do 2 separate sides.
Now, what happens when you're on the ride? I know it moves around, but what else is going on around you?
The music, it is like retro Toy Story music. Like, that's how I can describe it. It's like DJ, like Alien DJ Buzz is up there like spinning some good tunes. I don't know. So when we were on it, we had You've Got a Friend in Me, but there was no words. It was just like an upbeat,
like a techno
soundtrack. Like techno, yeah. So that was cool. And then there's lights that are going. So it feels like a little like a little dance party, and you're whipping and you're going in these little circle figure 8 motions. It was definitely a unique experience, because it wasn't like the teacups like everybody thought it was going to be.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad it's not like the teacups. I'm pretty excited. It just looks fun. Like, not like, oh, this was the most amazing ride, but it just looks fun.
It was fun. I would probably in the future not wait more than 15 minutes for it.
Wow.
I would rather ride something else over it. John and I have fast passes. Cheddar Biscuits and I have fast passes for it this coming week, and I'm not sure that we're gonna go back and ride it. I mean, we can just ride it, but it was fun, but it wasn't like, it's not one of my favorite rides at the parks.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I think the theming was really good because it's like Pizza Planet theme, and there's a big Buzz, and there's one point where you see like just Buzz's spacesuit hanging in the queue, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's not like
a naked Buzz Lightyear running around somewhere.
No, but that's what I was thinking.
Naked
I wonder
Buzz.
What he looks like not in the suit, but
Kaley, he's a toy.
It's just. Well, I meant like.
I wonder what he looks like, not in his suit.
That's not what I meant. I just meant
That's creepy.
Why would they just have a painting of his suit? I don't know.
He's got to have a second suit. I mean, he's got to get sweaty in that thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Send out for dry cleaning.
But they had his toy box, and then they had him kind of controlling it. They had all the aliens. There was like pizza on the little a stained glass. I want to call it stained glass, but it was basically stained glass, just not traditional stained glass. It was just green, and it had little miniature pizzas on it and slices, and there's just aliens all over, of course. So I did like how it was kind of Pizza Planet themed, but like I said, I probably wouldn't wait longer than 15 minutes for it, and it is pretty short too.
You would rather use that 15 minutes to wait for Slinky Dog,
right? Or Toy Story Mania.
Did you guys do Toy Story Midway Mania? Or I guess it's just Toy Story Mania now.
Yes, we did that.
Tell me about the
this
queue.
Morning.
let me just say this, like Toy Story, but when it was Midway Mania, before they put it in Toy Story Land, was my favorite queue. Like, I had waited before they had added a third track. I waited 2 hours once for that ride back in the day. Like, I'm talking 10 years ago. I waited 2 hours for that ride. And I loved it because I loved the queue. So what did they do to the queue?
So it's completely different than the other side. And it was almost like a little weird the way you wrapped around, because you know where you picked up the glasses before, you still picked them up at the same spot, but then you kind of go past that, and those set of stairs are not like you went around that and turned again. Again, I don't know if this is making sense, but you pick up your glasses and then you turned. As far as the track that we were on, was the track that I believe we had already been on before.
Was it the track you have to walk upstairs to get to and walk over the track and then back down the stairs?
No, okay. It was the ramp
the other
one.
That's my favorite track.
Yeah, it was the ramp, because that's the one that brings you into like Andy's room with the door. So my favorite thing about the queue for Toy Story Midway Mania, or I guess it's just Toy Story Mania.
It's going to be hard to stop saying it that way.
I know, it's going to be hard to stop saying Midway, but they had a interactive Mr. Potato Head.
He's back. He used to be there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He did?
Yeah, long time ago. He was there. Remember
I
the
didn't
old
know.
queue when you would go all the way down and there was like that blank wall and it was kind of dark?
Oh,
he used to
yeah.
be right there.
Oh, okay. So I guess he's on the, facing the opposite direction now, since you go in the other way.
I'm so glad he's there.
So that was definitely my favorite part. As far as the rest of the queue, it was all, the awesome toys and, crayons and sticks, popsicle sticks, all these other cute stuff. But definitely Mr. Potato Head was the staple for me. That's one thing that I forgot to mention on Slinky Dog. At the very end, you see Wheezy.
Yes.
And Wheezy is like literally one of my favorite characters in Toy Story, just because I love penguins.
Me too.
But I just think he's so cute. So he's there and he's interactive, and I loved that. And so I loved the Mr. Potato Head. But I mean, other than that, it's Toy Story Mania, just as good as it was before. I love that ride. So
the only thing that changed was the queue, is essentially in the entrance. That's the stuff that changed.
It's just basically, the backside of what it was
the
before.
backside of Toy Story Mania. All right.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. But it makes it feel new because it's kind of, 50% new, I guess.
Exactly. It did feel new. And what really changed was the exit. Okay. So that's where, if I'm sure you've seen on Instagram, the popsicle stick wall. Mm-hmm. That's where you find that when you're exiting. You find a lot of army men with little wooden planes. So a bunch of cool. It's a little bit like longer exit. I don't know why it felt like we were walking a while to get back to the land. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure like the ratio of where it left out and where it let out, right, and where the land was, but it felt like a little bit. But they had a lot to look at, which I appreciated, like the popsicle stick wall and, all the toys as well. So it's definitely better than the old Mania exit.
Cool.
So we went for breakfast, and I wish we would have done both, but on opening day, the line was literally so long, and I was so hungry at that point. It probably was worth it, and we probably could have waited. But the thing about the seating in there is there's not a whole lot. They have some of the standing tables like you see at Epcot around the showcase.
Oh, trash cans?
No, the standing tables. And then they had some other, chairs and tables. But I'll get into that after I talk about the food, because that's like a whole other conversation. So this is what me and Cheddar Biscuits got. We got the raspberry lunchbox tart, the breakfast bowl, the s'mores French toast, the banana split yogurt parfait, and the Mystic Portal punch.
Oh my gosh. So start with the first.
I will start with
start at the beginning and work your way through.
Okay. So the raspberry lunchbox tart was softer than I thought it was going to be. When we got it, it looked like it was going to be hard, almost like a scone, but it was soft. It had a very strong raspberry flavor, and raspberry isn't one of my favorite flavors, but I did still enjoy it. So just kind of be like aware, like, yes, you're getting raspberry tart, and yes, it definitely tastes like raspberry, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean,
did it taste like a Pop-Tart?
Did I think it was basically like a upper class Pop-Tart.
Like a toasted
There honestly
strudel?
wasn't like a strudel, yeah, and there wasn't a lot of the raspberry inside though. It was kind of like a thin line, like it wasn't really like a thick amount of raspberry on the inside, which I guess I liked. I liked it. I heard mixed reviews about it before we had ordered it, but I liked it. I don't think it was my favorite thing that I had there, but for a little snack, if you wanted something sweet, it was good. I would get it again. That's it. I would get it again. I don't think it's going to be something that I'm going to like crave and have to have, but I would get it again.
Okay. All right. Next. What else? What was the next thing? The bowl?
Next is the breakfast bowl. And this was the potato barrels, which are literally just tater tots with the brisket, gravy, scrambled eggs, and then green onion. Ugh, I wish I would have known before getting this that there was green onion on top, because I really don't like green onion. Like, it's a texture thing. But this was really good. The only thing I have to say about it is I feel like I could get the same thing at a different breakfast place. Like, it didn't feel super unique to me.
Was the brisket gravy didn't make it
The brisket
different?
gravy was very good. I will give it that. But I still feel like, I could go to First Watch or something like that and get the same thing. But it was good. I would order it again. Like, this is...
It's definitely something different, though, for Disney World.
I definitely think, as far as breakfast, this was very different for Disney World. And the brisket gravy definitely made it for me. Cheddar Biscuits doesn't really like any sort of, like, breakfast gravy. He doesn't like biscuits and gravy or anything like that. And he really liked...
Who is he?
Yeah, I know. But he really liked this as well. So if you're one of those people who, like, aren't really sure about, breakfast gravies or bowls or anything like that, it was good. And the brisket gravy, like I said, made it unique, and it was definitely unique to WDW, but I feel like I could go to another breakfast place and be just as satisfied with the same item, because it's something that you could kind of get everywhere, it felt like.
So rank it out of 10.
Probably 8.
Oh, wow. That's pretty high, actually.
Like I said, I genuinely liked it. I just felt like, I could go to First Watch or one of those places and get it. So that's just...
Well, I mean, it's just eggs and...
Right. That was just my only thing.
I mean, you literally could make that at home in 5 minutes.
Right. But that was just my only thing. So that's why it gets an 8. It was good.
Okay. Next
is the s'mores French toast sandwich.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
So this is a brioche bread with a graham cracker crust, and there's chocolate and marshmallows on the inside. So amazing. Like, talk about unique to Walt Disney World. This is amazing. If you love sweet breakfasts, you will love this. Seriously, like, Cheddar Biscuits doesn't even like chocolate. Like, we never can get chocolatey desserts because he doesn't like chocolate, and he loved this. It was so sweet, but just the right amount of sweet. The toast was just crunchy enough. Loved it. 10 out of 10 for me. I'm going to crave that. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to want to get it time and time again. It was so good. Like, I was seriously blown away by it. And it was so, like, ooey gooey. I mean, it was a little messy, but that's fine. You can clean yourself up. But totally worth it.
Was it warm when you got it, or?
It was warm. It wasn't like hot, but the chocolate and the marshmallows were like melty. So it was
okay. That's what I was wondering.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good in the photos. Like, I love s'mores, anything s'mores related.
It was.
And so it was just like I was like licking my phone screen. I wanted to eat it so bad.
It was great. Loved it. Next, we got the banana split yogurt parfait. Ew.
Parfait. It would be parfait if I tried to eat it. Bananas are disgusting.
No, banana split yogurt
Gross.
parfait.
I'm allergic to bananas, actually. I learned that.
That is so sad. I love bananas.
Within the last couple weeks. It's not like I'm gonna die if I eat one, but like I was at work and I was talking. We were talking about bananas for some reason, and I was like, one, I don't like the texture, but two, like when I eat it, like makes my tongue and mouth like tingly kind of. And they're like, that means like that's like an allergic reaction that you're having to that food. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah. So now I have an excuse, a legitimate excuse to not like bananas other than they're mushy.
Ugh, I love bananas. And this was really good. If you want like a light, refreshing breakfast, I would definitely get this. The granola was good. There was chocolate chips in the granola, so there was a little bit of sweetness. There was banana, strawberries, and pineapple in it, which I really liked. Yeah, we both really liked it.
Is it pre-made? Is it a pre-made thing like they just have like back in the fridge, or is it something they make right there?
I wasn't standing at the window when the food came out, but the way it was packaged, it looks like it's like a pre-made thing. Because the granola isn't on top when you first get it. It's in like a little container that's in the lid. So you have to take off the lid, take off the granola, pour it in.
Because I was wondering if like you could get it without like pineapple or without the banana or something like that.
I'm not sure if they have like if they just prep it in the back somewhere and have them ready.
They probably do.
But I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. But it was really good. If you like I said, light, fruity breakfasts with granola, I really liked it.
It's definitely a healthier option than than the others.
Yep, and definitely cheaper because it's only $5.99. So.
Oh, okay.
I would give this like a 6 out of 10, just because I like the s'mores one better.
What did you give the s'mores one? I forgot.
10 out of 10.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
So next we got the Mystic Portal Punch, and this is Powerade with lemon lime and tangerine, and you can get it in that super cute alien sipper that makes it, because it's green, so they have a little green light in it that lights it up. I loved it. I mean, it tasted just, I love Powerade and I love drinks like that, so it tasted like a new Powerade flavor, which I'm not mad at. Like I said, I really liked it. I'm not sure if other people were disappointed by the fact that it just kind of tasted like that, but I thought it was just flavorful enough and exactly what I wanted. And I think as far as like a juice goes with your breakfast, I thought it paired really nicely.
So it wasn't carbonated?
No.
It's a juice.
It is.
Powerade juice. Yep. Okay. So is this like their response to like having like LeFou's Brew in Magic Kingdom, and then you've got like, you know, over at the other theme park, Crosstown on International Drive, they have, you know, the butterbeer. Is this kind of like a Toy Story Land themed drink?
I think so, because I'm assuming you're only going to be able to get it in Toy Story Land because it's Mystic Portal Punch, but it's completely different consistency as far as LeFou's Brew and butterbeer. It is more of that juice. They do have, you know, ice cream floats and alcoholic beverages. Alcoholic beverages at Woody's Lunchbox as well. So they definitely have a lot of options. I think it's really cool that they have root beer floats there. I think that's kind of unique.
Yeah, that is. That's so cool. I'm dying to eat there. Like, we were talking before that if we had gone, I'd already planned on eating breakfast, lunch / dinner there and ordering one of everything.
It was...
because it just all looks amazing.
Yep.
Everything looks amazing.
Well, and I think the thing with us, why we didn't, because even on Saturday, we weren't there until 11 o'clock when lunch started. So we would have had to get breakfast both days. Even today, we weren't there. I mean, sure, we could have came back, but we had reservations on Saturday night for a place to go. So we weren't going to go back and get dinner there. But I definitely want to go and try the dinner because the grilled cheese looks amazing with the tomato soup.
Gosh, can't wait. So overall, Kaley, Toy Story Land, was it a huge success? Did they do what they set out to do and create this amazing land? Or
huge. It was a huge success in my opinion. I'm a little curious to see how it pans out with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I think that I don't know, because they're both so different, but part of me feels like so much more attention and money is going into Galaxy's Edge that it might be a little bit better than Toy Story Land. But for Toy Story Land just being there with nobody to compete with right now, it is seriously amazing. Like, Slinky Dog is probably like in my top 3 of favorite rides at Walt Disney World. Like now.
Wow.
Like goodbye to whatever was there before. It's so fun.
Goodbye, people mover.
You were never there to begin with, but goodbye.
Never heard of it.
Alien Swirling Saucers, like I said, I would ride it again, but it's not a ride that I like really am gonna like sought out to go on or wait like 30, 45, 90 minutes for.
Right. Okay.
But it was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like I said, I think
a good review.
one of my favorite parts too was the new Toy Story Mania entrance. Like it was just like a little cardboard, almost like game looking piece. I don't know how to describe it, like to make it seem like what it is, but it looks like cardboard, like it came from a piece of a game. And I think they did a really good job with that. I don't know why I was so surprised by that, but I was, because it looked great. So the restroom sign is made out of Scrabble letters, which I thought was really cute. And they have the toy blocks outside, super colorful. As you're going in, it remains very colorful. There's checker pieces on the wall. There's Crayola crayons on the wall. All of the stalls itself are different colors, like different toy blocks. So like the wall and the door are 2 different colors. So it's very colorful. The music from the land flows inside. I think they did a really good job at keeping the theming of Toy Story Land and bringing it into the restrooms.
So, would Lou Review Matt love this restroom?
Okay, as far as theming, I think he would, but I can see this restroom not being the most clean. So, and I know that's one of the things that he looks for when he's looking and rating bathrooms. Restroom, so I think it's going to have a lot of traffic. Even when I went there, I waited in a line to go to the bathroom, and there are numerous stalls. So I don't know. I think he will be happy with the theming, because that is something that we talked about when we did the Tuesday treat with him, was, you know, what we thought the restroom was going to be like. So I think the theming he will be happy with. But as far as like rating it for cleanliness and all of that, I don't think so, because it's going to have a lot of traffic, especially with it being so new, the land.
So that's you guys just got like a first-hand review right there of Toy Story Land with a little extra review of Enzo's Hideaway. You're welcome, people. You're welcome. So Toy Story Land, head over to Toy Story Land as soon as you can. Ride Slinky Dog. Let us know how it went, how you liked it. Let us know what your favorite Toy Story Land ride is. If you've been there and you've checked it out already, let us know what your favorite ride is. Let us know what your favorite thing to eat is there. Do you agree with Kaley? Is the s'mores French toast the greatest thing that you've ever eaten in your entire life? Or do you like the parfait better, or the breakfast bowl? Let us know. We want to hear from you and find out, so that when I go, I know what to eat and what the best things are to do in Toy Story Land. So tomorrow we will have an episode. It'll be the second of our Tuesday treats. We will be joined by CJ and Greg from the Zad Crew podcast. Greg is also the brains over NRGTs. So we're stoked for you guys to hear our conversation with those 2 crazy animals. And that'll be out tomorrow, Tuesday. And that'll be episode number 11. We made it a whole 10 episodes so far, Kayla. Can you believe it?
I can't even believe it. It has gone by so quick.
I know. It's crazy. It is crazy. And here we are, episode 11.
Yep. I feel like they just keep getting better and better.
So anyways, that's the show for this week. For today, for our sometimes episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed our show, we would love for you guys to subscribe, comment on the show on iTunes. That's a great way for people to be able to find us as well. It makes us more visible. If you have any questions for us, or show topic ideas, or things you want us to discuss, you can email us, waltzworldpodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up on Instagram at waltzworldpodcast. We love to hear from you guys, so please hit us up on email or on Instagram. So with that, I'm John.
And I'm Kaley. We'll see you next week. Or tomorrow.